Ngiza. So that testimony had been led publicly. And you indicate and you attach a letter marked IM3. IM3 appears in your annexure documents, the annexure file, dated the 14th of November, 2025.
Page?
Page 10, under tab IM3.
Yes, yes.
That is the letter you referenced at paragraph 35.
Yes, yes.
Now, in the context of the conversation you had with the chair earlier regarding potential prejudice you may have suffered even though ameliorated, and the offer made to you to file a supplementary statement should the need arise. I highlight that the document that you specifically attach, this was addressed to the Madlanga Commission at behonest.co.za. This is the hotline.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
Correct.
It's only this, the subsequent letter, IM5, which was then addressed specifically to the secretary.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
So IM4, my mistake. IM4 at page 12. And that one is dated the 20th of November, 2025. So the first letter, the only point I seek to make was that it went to a hotline. You used the hotline, your attorneys then used the hotline email address.
Yes.
And if you check the second letter at page 12, it is directed specifically to the secretary here in the commission and two other persons. Now, in that context, and again, remember, is there anything you would like to add to your next two topics? The first headed, starting at paragraph 37, brief timeline to steps taken since testimony given falsely implicating me, read together with the next one starting from paragraph 43, prejudice suffered.
Thank you very much. The first letter, page 10, it was written by my husband, who's an attorney. By then, he was frustrated about all the allegations that were made against me. Then he took upon himself to write, but after discussing with him that it will be like a conflict of interest, me protecting myself through him, let me sought the services of neutral attorneys, and the neutral attorneys therefore were given a mandate, instruction to actually assist me, the Pierre Karim, the attorneys that are here present. In terms of the prejudice, I need to indicate that the time given to me to actually prepare with the attorneys, because we received the statements and the transcripts on the 25th or 26th, and we were expected to appear on the 28th. And for us, the time was limited to actually prepare, to assist, in order to assist the commission to come to a conclusion in terms of the matter at hand. Hence, we raised those issues. Fortunately, we're given that extension of like 2 days, which is Saturday and Sunday. And my attorneys, I think, they went to Sun City for their year-end function, and they had to come back. And obviously, as a pensioner, I had to wake up at 3, read documents and so forth. Like, my head is now cluttered from the pressures of this thing, but be that as it may, we are here, and we are prepared to respond to some of the issues. We'll try to respond to the issues as much as we can, but we also appreciate the time that we are given to actually express our opinion in terms of the responses and the allegations that we made against me.
Thank you for that, Doctor. I must say that we didn't have the opportunity, unfortunately, to have a year-end function in Sun City. And I'm sorry you had to be waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, but I'm sure you'll appreciate where our whole Sunday, some of us, ended up, which is yesterday. Thanks. Okay. We will try to move as slowly as possible, particularly through the documents that emanate from the Commission when reference is made to them. As I indicated in consultation with you, we attempted to do that exercise with you as much as we could, but admittedly the time pressures perhaps denied us an opportunity to do so thoroughly. So in this hearing, to the extent that we will call up the annexures to the statements of the witnesses that you reference, that you say falsely accuse you, you shall be given an opportunity to consider the document before you have to answer questions in relation thereto. Should it become impossible to do it, you will indicate, and the chair, I'm sure, will come to your aid. Okay? You then have a new chapter from page 8, which you've titled "For the Attention of the Commission." And I'm starting at page 8 at paragraph 50. That chapter runs from paragraph 50. In fact, it's a 150 with two sub-paragraphs, 50.1 and 50.2. Would you like to talk to those issues that you raise under that heading?
Thank you, ma'am. In terms of issues that I want to raise with the Commission, is that from my side as an accounting officer, as I indicated that during the meet and greet exercise as a newly appointed female city manager, I was approached by female officers in the EMPD that are being harassed and are not promoted to senior positions. Rather, they should sleep with them for, it's not only attributed to chief only, it is a practice of everyone. But for me, because there was no formal complaint from any one of them, I could not take action. Mine was to create a platform for them to be empowered so that they're able to be promoted. And I've actually attached the statistics of my program, almost 8-year program of empowering women in uniform. It is called a City Manager Legacy Project. It is part of my key performance indicators in terms of my performance contract, where I initiated this program because there was no initial complaint. It was just a hearsay and their frustration. And quietly so, I had to create this program. And this program was actually celebrated every year. And the Chief of Police was actually invited in that program, where all these female officers who obtained their junior degrees, national certificate, we even have one who graduated a PhD degree. Last year, is it early this year? With a PhD degree, one junior official in the EMPD. She's at the inspector level with that PhD. We have others with masters, others with junior degrees, others with national diplomas. That is how the program was structured. And in terms of promotion, I can actually boast and say that we have actually appointed a lot of them or promoted a lot of them into higher positions up to director level. There was one that we attempted to appoint as a deputy chief of police, but she declined because the contract is a 5-year contract and she's a single parent. That is how far I wanted to go. And it is my wish, and it was my wish, and it is still my wish that one day we should have a female chief of police, so that women are also given an opportunity to occupy senior positions, especially in the previously male-dominated environment. So we've done that exercise, but over and above that...
Is it previously, or is it in your language, in saying it was previously dominated by men? I'm not there, I'm not at Ekuruleni, but I would imagine that it must still be dominated by men. That's the probability.
Oh, thank you very much, Commissioner, for that Commissioner, for that correction. Yes, the profession is still male-dominated, but as the then female accounting officer, I tried to actually normalize the situation, but I have not reached where I wanted to be. It was also reported to me that the Chief of Police, Isaac Mapiyeye, fathered multiple children with subordinates who were vulnerable to his abuse of power, including conduct amounting to sexual harassment, coercion, and rape. I will address this when I deal with question 10? Question 9. Where I was requested to submit his suspension letter. Is it 10?
I think if you go overleaf at page 9,
It's page 9.
the last
Those
sentence
allegations.
of that first paragraph, you reference question 13
Yeah.
of the statement, yes.
All right. The pattern of behavior described is deeply troubling and reflects a systematic abuse of authority by the Chief of Police. And he used to call them amangilos. He calls them amangilos, like angels. Those who are angels, these are the ones who are actually promoted. And if we look at the promotion of Tepa, who actually testified here, you can see that she was promoted within a short period of time as compared to others who have more qualifications, who were there before her, who were appointed before her as EMPD officials. So for me, this kind of practice gave me sleepless nights. And I feel that with the program that I created, at least it alleviated some pressure from these women. But there are those who are actually part of the whole thing, whom he called angels or amangilos. I also record concern relating to...
Just to make sure I understand the point you are making here, are you saying that he had sexual relations with amangilos or the angels,
Amangilos.
and that as a result, the angels would then be promoted?
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Or would be favored for promotion?
Exactly.
All right.
Can I ask a follow-up question? Doctor, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Are you stating that as a fact or it's a rumor that you heard? I'm sure you were watching news in the last few weeks. You would have heard about a term called mabaribari. Mabaribari.
It's not a mabarabara. I've been in the system. I know about these things.
But I'm saying, are you stating it as a fact or as something that you heard?
It's something that I heard, but he will answer and they will come, and if they're called, they can come and testify, those that have been abused. Classical example is about a witness that chief has been suspended for sexual harassment as well as rape. If that is a classical example, she'll come and confirm. But she requested that she wants to come and be interviewed by the commission, but outside camera. She doesn't want to be in camera because of her children and so forth. But she has prepared her file, and I think she has also written to be interviewed by the panel to indicate her treatment under the Chief of Police. So I will also talk to it when I address the issue of his suspension, how it happened. The letters from the doctors, I've attached them from her doctors, and the letters from the attorneys that represents her. So it is important to know that some of these things, they are not just said in a vacuum or under mabaribari. It is confirmed by a case that is being opened against him, the case of rape, and also there is a protection order against him. And for him to come here and behave as if he's a victim while he's a perpetrator of women abuse, it's a shame, to be honest.
Dr. Mashazi, you speak in paragraph 50 and in your explanation of a wide-scale
Yes,
program.
I want to talk to this one. This one, Chief
Can I-
of Police being Chief
Sorry,
of Police.
Can I just ask you my question, and then you can speak to what you want to speak to? I started to ask you a question, please. My question is, you speak of a pervasive problem, and in the plural, you say angels, and suggesting improper relationships. Is there a particular reason that you mention only Lieutenant Colonel Tipper, who testified in her testimony, spoke about you or your office at least? You are not mentioning anyone else as part of the crowd of people that you say the chief had improper relationships with.
I want to focus my discussions and my evidence in terms of people who have been here and people who actually made allegations. Tepa, she was one of my protectors at some point, introduced by Chief, part of my team of protection. I had 8 males protecting me, and Chief withdrew one and introduced Tepa. And these other males were saying, but Mama, your office and your safety is actually questionable. Why do you allow Chief to bring this one? She's not going to help us. We need to be combat ready to protect you. Then I asked Chief, what is the reason of you? No, she's good. She's one of my angels. That is how he explained. He's one of his angels. And in terms of, if you go to Ekuruleni, they will tell you about amangelosi, what amangelosi means or angels means in terms of Chief's definition. So she is part of the angels here, of Chief's angels.
Yes, you've said that. You've said she's one of the angels. My question to you is, she's testified against you. She said unflattering things about you. You are not mentioning anyone else by name of those angels. And what are we to make of it, that you speak specifically to someone who's testified against you? And I think you have just said now that, she comes here to pretend she's an angel, when in fact she's part of a network of people that are being abused by the chief. It may well be that is so, and I'm not saying that's not so because I don't know any better. It may well be. I'm asking the simple question that you mention her specifically, where you speak in the plural about angels. You're not mentioning anyone else. Is there a particular reason that you mention her and she happens to be someone who testified against you?
Thank you for the question. I'm not mentioning her because she was part of the people who made allegations about me, but I'm speaking about her and confirm because her name is already here, and Chief has actually introduced her to me as one of his angels. That is the reason why I'm mentioning her alone.
Okay. Can I just follow up on that? You also, on my question at least, you say at 50.1, you say it has been widely reported to me that Chief fathered children with subordinates. And in your oral evidence, you say you came to know that there was a problem in the MPD where you're not suggesting Chief is the only one. Chief Mapiyeye was the only one that is guilty of those kind of complaints.
Correct.
You're not suggesting that?
Correct.
Okay, but you're mentioning only him.
I'm mentioning Chief because there's a case about him, about sexual harassment,
Yes.
and also rape.
Yes. You do
I
discuss
can't mention
that.
others because there was never a case that was brought to my attention about rape or sexual harassment. And I could not, as I indicated when I started that, I could not charge anyone about the practice in EMPD. Instead, as a female accounting officer, I decided to create a program to empower these women.
Okay. Maybe lastly, let me ask, you are the municipal manager at the time.
Yes.
In fact, before that, you were the chief operating officer.
Exactly.
And then you become the municipal manager. In one of those two roles, you become aware that there are problems in EMPD, but you do no investigation. You don't appoint, you have the power to appoint. You don't appoint anyone to look into these serious allegations. You carry on until there's an allegation of the person that you discuss later on. There's a formal complaint, but the rest of the time, you carry on without taking any action to look into these serious allegations that you should be addressing. I expect that the municipal manager takes it seriously enough that if you get this pervasive or this suggestion that it's a systemic problem in the EMPD, a responsible municipal manager would take action to investigate it further, and you don't seem to have done that.
Thank you very much. As I indicated at the beginning of my statement, when I said it was a general comment from a group of women, and there was no one with a formal complaint. Remember, you can't just investigate without a formal complaint, without anyone signing an affidavit or writing a grievance to you. You can't just, you're going to investigate everyone. What I reasonably did as an accounting officer, as a city manager, I had to create a program to deal with the systemic issue. I cannot just investigate people and say, yeah, there is this allegation that you guys, you are abusing these women, they are not promoted and so forth. I did a reasonable thing as an accounting officer to create that platform for women to be promoted and empowered.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. Dr. Mashasi, if I may... Yes, Chair.
Just before that, it's a follow-up to the questions by my co-commissioner, Commissioner Baloyi. You say it has been widely reported to you. When exactly did you get the reports?
It was, as I indicated, that it was a verbal, when I started as an accounting officer. These things were reported to me by this group of female officers that the chief is fathering.
Please remind me, when did you become the city manager? I know it's here, but...
Yeah.
2016.
Yes.
So in 2016, you hear that Chief Mapiyeye is not only having improper sexual relationships with the women police officers, but is even raping some of them and harassing others sexually, even using coercion on them. I assume that's coercion for purposes of having sex with them? This is, you get to hear this in 2016. And all you do, unless I misunderstand you, so all you do is to create a platform for women to be promoted. That's all you do.
To be empowered, number one, and to be promoted as well. Remember, if there's no formal complaint, how do you start investigating people? That's why I'm referring to the paragraph where I deal with specific sexual harassment, where there's a formal complaint.
Are you suggesting that as a leader you get reports of such horrendous acts by the chief of police? You sit back and fold your arms instead of being proactive. You fold your arms and say, there are no complaints to me. Why can't you be proactive and do the best you can to get to the bottom of the reports that you have received, reports of such horrendous acts by the chief of police?
Maybe it is a foresight from my side, but as an accounting officer, if there's no formal complaint, how do I remember in terms of our processes in council, I must have a formal complaint like I received that there is this thing happening.
But what was your sense? Wasn't your sense that this was something systemic?
Yes, it was something
It's
systemic.
ongoing. It's ongoing. There are children out of improper sexual relations. There's coercion, meaning those that are not willing to have, even willing perhaps is not a good word in this context. So there's even coercion to have sexual relations with those that will not have sexual relations with him. There are rapes. You just fold your arms, sit and wait for complaints. Is that the way an accounting officer, a chief executive officer should act?
Commissioner, as I indicated that I cannot just from a hearsay that there are this thing. I had to wait because there are processes in council. You can't just say there is this general view about an individual, therefore I'm investigating this individual. I must have something in writing that this person has complained about 1, 2, 3. Then I must write a report to council and ask council to give me permission to investigate, to suspend and investigate an individual. I could not unilaterally hearing from them as a group saying there is this thing happening. And I know that as an accounting officer.
Who did you get the reports from?
It was female officers.
Was it the affected women officers?
Affected women officers in the department.
So that's not hearsay. It's people who are affected
but
telling
they must
you.
do it in writing.
Sorry, doctor. It's the affected women telling you that this is happening to us. There's nothing hearsay about that. There's nothing hearsay about that.
I take your point.
So basically you did nothing, having received information about such horrendous acts by the chief of police. You just sat and did nothing.
I take your point that doing that program, it's not enough from the point of an accounting office. I take your point.
Thank you, doctor.
I think, doctor, it's more than the program is not enough. I think it's as specific as you receive word from women who speak to you. Because you raise it to a formal level, they tell you, we have a problem. And it's not just the chief, according to your evidence. They say the men in EMPD, this is what they do. What in fact it is you did nothing about that. Your explanation for doing nothing about it is you say, well, I didn't have any formal written complaints or allegations, but you did have verbal complaints and allegations, and then you did nothing about it. You didn't address those allegations.
I take your point, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Perhaps lastly, this is 2016. Did the reports not continue throughout your tenure? The reports of this, what I've referred to as horrendous conduct, did those reports not continue? I would imagine if, as you have accepted, this is something that was systemic, it could not only have been in 2016 when you were appointed a municipal manager. The reports must have continued, not so?
Yes, if you look at the evidence of the victim,
yes,
the harassment coercion started in 2012, before I even became the accounting officer.
And did these reports continue throughout your tenure as municipal manager?
Obviously, they continued.
Throughout.
Obviously, they
So,
continue.
meaning from 2016 all the way to 2025.
Yeah, but
You were receiving these reports continuously and you did nothing about them. Save to create, what did you refer to it? Save to create the platform for them to be promoted, which does not, of course, address the issue we are raising. So throughout, from 2016 to 2025, you are continuously receiving these reports, which tell you that there's a systemic problem, and you do nothing throughout your tenure as municipal manager.
what I did, and I explained, Commissioner, that
Leave out, please.
we have
Yeah.
processes in council, and like even now, I struggled to save the report of Chief of Police in terms of his misconduct. I struggled. I received a complaint.
I'm specific to the systemic problem of the horrendous conduct of the Chief of Police and other senior men within the EMPD who were sexually harassing, raping, coercing with a view to having sexual relations, junior women officers. That's my focus, not other issues which may have arisen and which you may have addressed. That's my focus, and my question is, there is this systemic problem of which you are aware because, as you've admitted, there are continuous reports on it, and you basically do nothing with that issue, that horrendous conduct from 2016 all the way up to the end of July 2025, throughout that period.
Commissioner, I take your point that just doing a program was not enough as an accounting officer while these things were systemic and happening. I take your point.
A more direct answer. So from 2016 to 2025,
Yes, I take your point.
you did nothing.
Yes, I take your point.
All right.
Except to create a platform for them.
All right, thank you.
Maybe, Commissioner, we need to understand the processes of council in terms of senior managers. We need to understand that you can't just take a report, because for you to deal with this thing, I must report to council that this is happening around a senior manager. And that report must be supported with a complaint. I know that from my side as an accounting officer, my hands are tied in terms of dealing with some of the issues. That's why I took a soft route of actually creating that program. I must write a report to council and say, Chief did 1, 2, 3, coercing, abusing, sexually harassing people, and so forth, because Chief accounts to me. Junior managers is Chief that must deal with that in the Department of NPD. But in terms of him as a Section 56 employee, he reports directly to me. He's the only person that I can deal with in the department. So for me to write a report about him that he is doing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, I must go to council, the very same politicians who are protecting him. I must go there. I'm trying to illustrate that as an accounting officer, your hands are tied, especially when you are a female, are tied in dealing with male chauvinism in local government. I
would understand that if you had done something and had been rebuffed, but for you to fold your arms from 2016 to end of July 2025, I do not understand that at all. If you had done something, I mean, these are very serious allegations, Dr. Mashazi, very serious allegations, and please do not misunderstand us. Do not think that we are defending Chief Mapiyeye and the other senior men that you are making allegations against. No, we are do about it. That's where we are.
Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you. Perhaps just to close out on that line of questioning, Dr. Mashazi, accepting the extent to which your hands were tied, as you have testified, is it fair then to accept that the pattern of abuse of women persists? There was nothing to stop it, so it persists and probably has gotten worse. Is that what you'd be telling this commission? No, you need to express yourself orally so that the machine can record your answer.
Yes, ma'am.
So it persists and it has worsened since.
I can't say it has worsened. I can say there's improvement immediately after I introduced and empowered them and made them understand that they are not sex objects.
Yes.
They are equally qualified to compete with these males
Yes.
for positions, and HR processes are pure.
Okay, now, I think it's incumbent upon me to tease out some aspects of your paragraph 50.1. As the chair pointed out, these are very serious allegations. The conversation that we've had so far relates to the pattern within the city. But paragraph 50.1 specifically points to Chief Mapiyeye. It's personal, as against him personally. Now, for the record, this commission is not out to impugn anyone's name or to judge anyone's sense of morality. And I would like to believe that neither do you approach this commission with that kind of thinking. Accepting that you do not intend to unnecessarily impugn his name, I then want to unpack 50.1. You say, it has been widely reported to me that Chief Mapiyeye fathered multiple children with subordinates who were vulnerable to his abuse of power. Firstly, you, in response to a question by Commissioner Kumalo, you said it's not mabaribari. It can be substantiated, it's factual. My question to you is, do you know the identities of those juniors with whom Mr. Mapiyeye fathered children? Do you know that as a fact, or do you accept because it was communicated to you?
Unfortunately, I cannot mention the names of people here, but I know few of them.
Also,
two of them.
You can establish that fact.
Yes, yes.
And you may do so through your statement, if so your supplementary statement, if so required.
Exactly.
And how many children are we talking about?
I'm not sure about the number.
No.
The number here is said. Just read my statement.
I'm at 50.1, your page 8.
Yeah. It said.
You say fathers multiple children.
Multiple children.
Yes.
I never indicated the number. I'm not sure about the number.
At the time it was communicated to you, how many women specifically confirmed this situation? How many?
I do not recall the number.
Was it 2 or 10 or 20?
I do not recall the number.
That bad, doctor?
Thank you.
I'm asking, it's a question, is it that bad that you can't recall whether it's 2 or 10 or 20?
Remember, ma'am, I'm running 26 departments, and each and every department we have, in police only, we have more than 3,005 officials. How do I remember all these things? I don't remember. I don't recall. And obviously, I cannot be forced to say a number that I don't know.
I appreciate
and I don't want to lie to the commission, to be honest.
Indeed. I pressed for that because you are not talking about a particular pattern where seniors father children with subordinates. You are speaking of specifically one person. And you have just indicated to the commission that you can give detail regarding those cases in your supplementary. That would mean you refer to specific people who confirmed to you as a matter of fact that it happened to them. But you say you don't remember whether it was 2, 10, or 20. I am more concerned about the second part of that allegation, where this fathering of multiple children is through conduct amounting to sexual harassment, coercion, and rape. So, do I understand you correctly that some of those children were fathered following a rape by Chief Mapiyeye? Is that your statement to the commission?
Can you repeat your statement?
You can't, we can't, because you are looking at your phone and you are reading something on your phone, so naturally you will miss many of the things that I say. So we're going to have to make a decision how we run this. You are either with the commission and you are testifying before the commission, or you'd like some time to attend to your phone.
I'm
Which is
trying
going
to
to
get
be?
information from my phone.
No, if you
And
need
I'm-
time to get information, kindly address yourself to the commission and request the time, and the time shall be given to you. But when a question is
Apologies.
posed to you and you distract yourself by attending to your phone, I'm sure you'll accept that it won't particularly work. will
Yeah,
you?
it's,
Thank you.
it's incorrect, and I apologize for that.
What is incorrect?
For me to be attending to my phone
Okay.
while the
No, sir.
session is on.
Apology accepted. The question was, the last part of that particular paragraph suggests that Chief Mapiyeye fathered some, I take it, of these multiple children with subordinates through the act of rape. Is that what you're communicating?
Yeah, there's a rape case opened against him.
From which a child was born?
I beg pardon?
From which a child was born?
There was no child born,
Okay.
but there's a rape case in terms of the testimony that is part of my bundle.
That's that's a clarification I sought. So I
Yeah.
should not read sexual harassment, coercion, and rape to relate to the fathering of children. These are two separate allegations you make.
Exactly.
Okay. And before we get there, because we will get there, that's what you call your question 13. The example you give in your statement is a complaint by one subordinate. Dare I ask you whether there are more, if you know for a fact that there are more, and how many, or you don't recall?
I can confirm that there's one who came through.
Okay.
As I indicated that a group of them came and complained, but because there was no written statement and there was nothing, I was unable to act upon it. As I indicated that there are processes and my hands are tied in terms of reporting such behaviors.
Okay, I'll accept that. Now I want to turn to the allegation at 50.2. And once again, it's directed.
Nothing. Sure, I would do honestly.